Welcome to
All right. Let's land this plane. I'm tired. I have two metaverse-related stories.
Long show.
I know. This first one is from Kotaku.com. And the headline here, NFT zealot advocates turning players from developing nations into NPCs. And it's funny because every time I bring a metaverse article, you're a little skeptical. You're a little bit like, oh, another metaverse.
I like this one.
Metaverse article, but I knew you'd like it because it's very on point with our show.
It has a lot to do with stuff we've been talking about for a long time.
Yep, I'll read it real quick here. A common thread linking this is more of an op-ed piece from this author here. A common thread linking my complete revulsion for all things blockchain and AI is the sheer inhumanity of it all. Devotees of these tech bro causes are so focused on technology, profits, and market forces while remaining oblivious to their effects and consequences that at times it feels like they have become completely disconnected from the human experience. We've covered this to death over the last couple years, from failed NFT experiments to the looming specter of AI-generated art. But today, I want to draw your attention to one of the most extraordinary things I have ever seen committed to print in the name of future technology. This person has not been reading enough things committed to print about the future of technology. If this quote is the most remarkable thing, even though, I'm glad people are getting into this stuff, but there's been some pretty egregious stuff written for a long time. This terrific feature on NFT and crypto gaming focused mostly on Minecraft servers and Axie Infinity, WOMP, which is, everything fell during the bear market, is by Canary Cry. And you should definitely read the whole thing over on Rest of World for a great, if also incredibly bleak, look at the markets surrounding play-to-earn games. But there's one section that truly stands out and made me stop dead in my tracks reading it. And there's kind of like a block quote from that article. Mikhail Kasar, a chartered accountant and a member of Wolves DAO, a group that consults with NFT gaming projects in the early stages of their development, told Rest of World that some players will always go wherever they can make more money. Quote, they will play Pac-Man if they can earn more, he said. According to Kasar, NFT renting mechanisms in play-to-earn games are important to keep them accessible to poorer players. Quote, you have people that have money but don't have time to play the game. And on the other hand, you have people that don't have money but have time, he said. He sees a future, however, where guild ownership and management could upend the model of wealthy Western players managing those in low-income countries. Quote, Filipinos can band together to buy some assets and then rent them out to themselves and make money that way, end quote, he said. But he also envisions NFT games that could exploit the wealth gap between players to deliver a different experience. Quote, with the cheap labor of a developing country, you can use people in the Philippines as NPCs, non-playable characters, real-life NPCs in your game, said Kasar.
Oh my gosh.
They could, quote, just populate the world, maybe do a random job or just walk back and forth, fishing, telling stories, a shopkeeper, anything is really possible, end quote. And then there's one sentence from this author. Let me be very clear here when I say I wish nothing but the worst for everyone involved in this group. But yeah,
this is really incredible.
Call. Yeah.
Really incredible. For those who maybe didn't catch all the gamer speak in there, he's talking about, so this pay to play economy is an interesting aspect of kind of what the futurists in the gaming industry are trying to do, which is try to make playing video games a job, find a way to make playing a video game a way to make income. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of ways that this can be done. I'm not going to explain them all. One of the ways that he is suggesting is that you have real humans play the non-player characters in a game. Now, NPC is the short for that. So NPC, non-player character, that's like, I don't know, imagine you're, non-player, for instance, they said Pac-Man. Okay. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. You play Pac-Man. You control Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. The ghosts are NPCs. They're not controlled by a player. Mm. That is probably that is a good basic explanation of that. And what he's suggesting is poor people in poor countries play the ghosts in Pac-Man. Now, that might actually be even more humanizing than what happens in games nowadays, which is most NPCs are literal scenery. Mm-hmm. They're like a whole NPC's job, most of them, is to like look, just basically be scenery. If you're in a town,
right? If you're in a town, you see people walking around or doing things.
Person walking around. Doing nothing, GTA, Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people have played that game. Just a random guy walking down the street is an NPC. Mm-hmm. And this guy is suggesting that you pay poor people in poor countries to control those NPCs. Your job would be to control a little guy walking around and wait for some Western gamer to come run you over with an SUV or something.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. Just be inconsequential. Be scenery. Yeah, like
absolutely,
you said, it's really you don't have to do anything as long as you're there.
Yeah.
You're earning money.
Yeah, and this makes no sense because why would you pay somebody to do that? It is significantly cheaper just to make an AI that does it, or not even an AI, just program the character to do something. And then boom, it's free forever. There'd be no reason to pay somebody to do this, on top of the fact that it's incredibly insulting. Now, yes, would they prefer, what is a poor person in a poor country prefer to sit and walk around in a video game than go to a Nike like child slave factory and build shoes? Yeah, they'd probably rather play the video game, admittedly. But as we've been exploring for years now, we're talking about manufacturing jobs. You've got America trying to bring manufacturing jobs back onshore. That's one thing. It's going to take jobs from the third world countries. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you've got robotics. Mm-hmm. America is not the only country worried about robotics taking over manufacturing. All of these factories in China and the Philippines and Taiwan and all our traditional, sort of proto-globalist supply chain things where all of our stuff is being made by people in poor people in other countries, unfortunately, they're losing their jobs to robots. The robots will be significantly cheaper. And in order to populate, I think this is most interesting in the metaverse, because we talk about the metaverse as in the same way that the technocratic futurists talk about, is that it will be one version of reality that you can choose to spend your time in.
Right.
And the metaverse will have NPCs as well. If you want to spend your whole life in the metaverse, playing games, doing this sort of stuff, there will be a need for non-player characters. Oh, no. But they will not be non-player characters. That will be a young person down on their luck in the Philippines being paid almost literally nothing to sit there and control a little guy just walking back and forth, maybe give you a quest. If you're lucky, he'll be one of the NPCs that gives you a cool quest to do or something. It is the most dehumanizing, absurd, dystopian future you could possibly imagine. It is so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, we said it was going to be weird, and this is partially why, there should be somebody in there preaching the gospel, right?
That's right.
And you're already halfway in there.
It is. I mean, you have people being paid to literally be second-class citizens.
Yeah, in a video game.
In a video game.
not even, because usually in a video game, it's like, oh, you imagine to be a superhero or something like that. But in this case, it's like, no. But I like the way the guy phrases it too. You can just walk back and forth. You can go fishing. You can tell stories, a shopkeeper. anything is possible. But it's like, wait a minute, if anything's possible, I want to be the superhero,
Right.
you know, picking up cars and chucking it across towns. And
What do you do? What do you do for a living? Oh, I control a guy in the metaverse who walks to his mailbox twice a day. And I just kind of wait.
And so anyway, yeah, the absurdity is abound.
Ghoulish.
Yeah,
It is
ghoulish.
ghoulish, this suggestion. And the problem is that this suggestion is not really that far off. It is totally possible. Once the robots take all of the manufacturing jobs, you'll have entire countries of people who will do anything for an income. And the thought of a poor foreign person living in squalid conditions, getting paid pennies to control the NPC who walks to his mailbox twice a day for, and what is what benefit does that bring to the game? Almost nothing. There's no reason.
But it's populated by real people, Basil.
Exactly.
It's not just AI. It's real people.
Marketing for the game. So the 12-year-old in Duluth who is playing the game, when his mom walks in and says, "What game are you playing?" Like, "Oh, it's this metaverse game." I don't know about these video games. No, Mom. All these people, they're real people. This is entirely populated by real people. Wow, I'm gonna play this game forever, and it costs me $100 a month because we have to pay all these NPCs. It is just the most bizarre evolution of human economy.
Well, it's interesting because it's creating status, like economic status in the metaverse, and then sort of bringing it to the real world. You know, it's like you're poor, so do this. Be the poor people in the game. So you
mean nothing.
Yeah, you mean
in
nothing.
Real life and in the game.
Yeah.
And you think, well, at least it's giving an income. At least it's better than working in the factory. But as we all know, work at its best needs to be more than just an income. Yeah. I mean, that's why, suicide and depression is so common in people who, people in general.
Just people in general, but very successful.
Lack of meaning.
Yeah.
Lack of, if you don't feel that what you do every day means anything, you are much more susceptible to depression and suicidal thoughts and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's truly ghoulish and wild that these tech bros are seriously considering this.
Yeah. One more thing from the metaverse, and it's typical to be hijacked by billionaires on our show. Yeah. Not a direct hijacking, but it's getting pretty close. This is Coindesk.com in the headline here. Golden State Warriors is co-owner to start fantasy sports style NFT game. Fantasy sports style. Golden State's Warrior basketball team co-owner and online retailer Zappos' founder, Nick Swinmurn, is entering the non-fungible token game with Play Hellebore, a fantasy sports style platform that lets users predict the outcome of professional sports games for blockchain-based prizes.
Is this guy trying to step on my New World Order fantasy?
It's very interesting.
Style?
You go to the website, and it's got kind of a footballish theme. You got your Hellebore creature characters there. There's nothing. It's not directly a ripoff, but listen, when you look at the style, you kind of have that.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, it's very similar. I gotta say,
this is bizarre.
It's
what?
I mean, I don't know. Websites are very similar in general with the templates and stuff, but I gotta say.
It's like an NFT fantasy game
where I've been saying we need to turn this thing into an NFT, the New World Order Fantasy League. We need to NFT this whole thing. But the fact that these guys
is very similar, though. They're doing a fantasy game on made up characters.
Yep.
Which, if there's any lawyers listening, the New World Order Fantasy League is surrounding made up characters as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm starting to lose my ability to be outraged at the world stealing all of my ideas.
Oh, good. You're coming around to where I've been at, you know.
I'm starting to lose my ability.
There's only so much anger. Yeah, you know what it is? Anger is a reactionary type of emotion. Underneath the anger is sadness, Basil. You're reaching the stage of just sadness. You're just sad.
Yeah. I think you're right. Thank you, Therapist Gons. Can I not do one thing on this earth without some rich
billionaire
celebrity
completely ripping it off?
Completely ripping me off. I cannot do one thing without somebody with more resources snatching it from my grasp. Oh
yeah, I wonder what blockchain is this built on? How to play, creating a wallet. I just want to see what, because they have the mint button here, which means MetaMask, Coinbase wallet. Okay, they're doing the same thing I was trying to do with a lot of the NFT stuff. So onboarding people onto MetaMask or Coinbase wallet is sort of the entry point to Web3. Maybe I need to dust off that Web3 tutorial and get people to understand what's happening, because it is different, folks. You know, you're used to logging into a bank account, you know, with your username and password. Sorry, continue. In Web3, it's a little different. You're going to log into your wallet first, and then you connect to different websites. But, you know, there's dangers and risks involved with that. You can connect your website or connect your wallet to a scam website, and then all of a sudden all your assets get drained and stuff. So it's not perfect yet.
This by experience.
I do.
We got to mint another NFT for the supply droppers coming up.
I know.
Yeah.
We need to make one for Q2.
For nothing else, it's much safer for our people to learn that economy from us.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than some
especially
billionaire or scammer.
Yeah, if your wallet gets drained of the Canary Cry supply drop NFTs,
not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world, you know.
Yeah,
it's too bad for the scammers. Not going to necessarily, unless something blows up and, you know, secondary market, those NFTs skyrocket in Ethereum price or something. But I don't foresee that necessarily happening. But yeah, I was just I like to keep an eye on what's happening in the NFT metaverse world there, and I just have to say that this is it just feels very familiar. When I went to this website, especially, I was like, wow, they got kind of that blurry.
They kind of almost ripped off our website too.
Yeah, just the top part where it's got that kind of TV feel.
Full size header image. Yeah,
the full size header with the blurry football stadium background.
The mixed medium background.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the billionaire said, like, hey, look at this website here. Look at this. It's actually a great idea, but can't really, give them any money. So,
This is what happens when we have all of our best ideas just on a publicly available podcast. Jeez Louise. All right. That's it, everybody.
Yeah,
we're out of here. I'm never saying a good idea on this podcast again. As if I ever did.